Hello, hello, hello. Happy Martin Luther King Day for everybody out there. Mic check. Can you hear me, Cotillia? I see you out there. See you, Curtis. Can you just put a one in the chat if you can hear me? I appreciate that. And how does the sound? How does this sound? Um, yeah, I know I'm not on mute, so just put a one in there and just let me know if you can hear me pretty good. Anyway, yeah, I don't get no, yeah, everything looks good. Anyway, all right. Okay. How you doing? Yeah. Thank you for the one. Um, let's go. This is a new day for America. The conservatives and the Republicans are on the clock officially, and that's a good thing. I mean, they were selling a lot of wolf tickets, and let's see how they do. But we're here today to talk about Michelle Obama and her choice not to support her husband. And how do you guys feel about that? I mean, I felt some kind of way, and I really didn't expect to do a live on this because I'm one of those kind of guys. It's hard to put a whole stream together just talking about women and their bad behavior. At least that's something I don't necessarily like to do. But I just thought it was uh, just fitting to say something about it because Michelle Obama, all of her fame and everything that she is in terms of her position as the woman king over all the black women in America is because of Barack Obama. She would just be Michelle Robinson if it wasn't for him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't care what anybody says. Now, let's be clear. This doesn't take away from her education, doesn't take away from her accomplishments as a scholar, her speaking prowess behind the podium, all that kind of stuff. I think that she'd be great at that. Uh, she didn't need to be married to Barack Obama to be a star doing that. However, we probably wouldn't know who she is. Her name would be Michelle Robinson, or she would be married to some lesser man. And when I say lesser, somebody lesser than the president of the United States. Could be a millionaire, could be a well accomplished man, but that wouldn't put her as the woman king over America. She's at the position she's in because she married Barack Obama. And any woman who wants to come up here and argue that, feel free. Hey Curtis, how you doing again? A team, hello, hello. Beak, hello, welcome aboard. So I just want to let everybody know that this is not necessarily going to be Michelle bashing from me, even though I think she deserves a little bit of it. But again, I'll give her flowers as a scholar, as an eloquent speaker. But as a wife, she's fallen short with this, I call it betrayal of her husband, and of course, he's going to carry it like a champ because that's who he is, even though he took a couple of steps backwards with his message to the black man with this last election. But still, she should have sucked it up just like every other woman, just like every other woman. And that's the life she has chosen. I don't care if she doesn't like Trump. You're not here with Trump. You're there with your husband. You're there to support his position, right? You don't have to smile in Trump's face and all that kind of stuff. It's just ridiculous, So, I'm really, yeah, it's disrespectful for her. She wanted the attention and she got it, So, Curtis, I see what you said. So I have a real issue with her on that. And one of the things I do want to touch upon, and I'm gonna come back to it, right? Anybody see the inauguration today? I think Trump gave one of his best speeches I've ever seen him give during the inauguration. And what I want to do is play a little bit of it. I'm talking about maybe 1 minute of it. And I put it at a specific location so I can, I guess, make a point. And so I'm going to share that with you right now. And here you go. Without further ado, I just want to, all right, let's just share this right now. All right.
millions of people. To the Black and Hispanic communities, I want to thank you for the tremendous outpouring of love and trust that you have shown me with your vote. We set records, and I will not forget it. I've heard your voices in the campaign, and I look forward to working with you in the years to come. Today is Martin Luther King Day, and his honor, this will be a great honor. But in his honor, we will strive together to make his dream a reality. We will make his dream come true.
I just wanted to play that little bit, okay? And I'm gonna tell you why. And I just wanted to play that little bit, okay? And is it just rhetoric? I mean, you could say that. You could belittle it if you want to, but the reason why I played it is simple. And when I first showed up here on BMU's network more than a year ago, nobody knew me. All they knew was that I was yelling that Black people need to get off the Democratic plantation. We need to stop giving our votes stupidly to the Democrats in mass. And we still did it this year, by the way. But we started seeing Black men stand up and say, you know what, there's nothing in this bullshit for us. And then 92% of Black women stayed on the plantation, but there's some who started to get off. And the reason why I think that's important is because they didn't just get off. A lot of them voted for Trump. Even though the numbers were small, it was noticeable. Now, here's the point. When we were just voting all willy-nilly for Democrats, when the Republicans won, they didn't have to do shit for us. They didn't even have to acknowledge us because they won without our votes. So even if Trump is just spouting rhetoric, right, about what recognizing Blacks and Hispanics, is more than he would have done if we would have stayed on the plantation and nobody voted for him. So you could do with that as you will, but it makes a difference, right? It makes a difference that, it's recognized. He recognized the fact that as he dipped into the communities and started talking to people on the ground, that he started resonating. Now, is he a changed man? Probably not. However, he is just a little bit, because I think he's more calm now than he was in 2016. He's got 4 years. He doesn't have to worry about running for re-election. He could just be who he is. And a lot of people in America are starting to just recognize the man for what he is and what he had to overcome to even get nominated and to become president. Now, he's got a lot to prove, right? He's selling a lot of wolf tickets. Now, what does this have to do with Michelle Obama? One, like I said, I still don't understand why so many Black people hate Trump and not Biden. I mean, just a cursory review of the history between those two men, it's not even close who's the real racist. You know what I'm saying? And Michelle Obama's absence and her perpetual liberal victimization exacerbates and perpetuates the lie that we as African Americans are somehow apart from the American experiment and the American dream. We're not. Where America goes, we go. Not as Black America, not as Blacks, but as Americans. So if we got to be a part of whatever movement there is, if it's beneficial, we need to recognize it and we need to be a part of it. That's what I'm saying. We can't be a part of it if we always lead with being victims, and we always lead with being Black, and we always say, well, the American dream is not for us. It's a lie. It's just a lie. Okay, so Michelle Obama's defiance is a dog whistle to all the Black women out there that I'm still with you. Your feelings and our feelings and my feelings are more important than any obligation to a Black man. That's her message. That her feelings are more important than Barack Obama, To hell with the fact that everybody knows me because I'm married to him. I got a chance to be in the spotlight. I got all my accolades because I'm this man's wife. She said, F you, Barack. You're on your own. You're on your own, right? And I'm saying that's just bullshit. She deserves every condemnation she gets, other than the fact, I mean, she's still a woman. She still needs to have respect for where it deserves because of her accomplishments academically and all of those things. Can't take that away. Barack didn't give that to her. But man, her abandoning him and making him look like a weak man in front of all the rest of the guys, there's no woman out there who could hate uh, uh, the Republicans or Trump any more than Hillary Clinton. And there's nobody, right? She's still getting flack for not leaving her husband because he was, going after a fat little intern. So I'm telling you, I really have issues with where she came from and where she's going with this. But so there's more, okay? Because I wanted to tie this to a couple of words that I think are important. So, so I'm just kind of going through it. I know a couple of guys said they want to come up, and then I'll drop the link. Anybody wants to come up, but I got a few things because I don't need, like I said before, it's just not my idea, right, of coming down on Michelle Obama for her skipping out on Carter's funeral or skipping out on the inauguration. I just think it needs to be said. I just think that if nobody else is going to do it, our pain is going to hold her accountable for leaving her husband high and dry. I know, and and you know what? And this, what did she say? Anissa, I'm glad you showed up because I know I think last week you had some angst about us talking about Barack Obama. Because one thing I do agree with you, it's her choice not to come. That's not the argument. It's not the argument. It's her choice to do whatever the hell she wants. And that's been the constant retort of most Black women. It doesn't matter about anything else about it except how you feel in the moment. So F everybody else. F everybody else. F obligation. F tradition. F expectation. Forget about it. My duty is to myself and how I feel in the moment. And I'm dog whistling to all the sisters out there. A Black man doesn't mean shit. And even if he's your husband, your feelings are more important than him. And I think that's a horrible thing. I really do. I think it's really, really bad. So it's incredible. And so anyway, I do have. I mean, of course, I like clips, right? Because I said, well, shit, is anybody else talking about this? And I got some mainstream media stuff, but I got another clip that I want to show. And this is just short clip, and we'll just come back. So bear with me for a second. We'll play another clip because there's some key words that that I want to play. If I can find it. Where is there it is. All right.
Well, Trump's inauguration is just 4 days away, and Michelle Obama says she's not going. It will be the second time in 2 weeks that she has skipped a gathering of former presidents and a break from longstanding tradition. Now, according to The Hill, longtime allies of the former First Lady say that she is sending a powerful statement by skipping the event. They say that she wants nothing to do with a man undeserving of the presidency and is making no effort to hide her disdain for Trump. Now,
All right. So her disdain for Trump is more important than her love for her husband, her respect for her husband. How do you put yourself in that space? How do you put yourself in that space? As if you're with me, somehow the boogeyman's going to get you because he's going to step over me and just come and get you. So this is just idiocy. This is angry Black woman shit that she's talking about right now.
One ally said, quote, She meant every word she said on the campaign trail with every fiber of her being. And she's no hypocrite. Another said, quote, saving some credibility. A source also telling People magazine, quote, there's no overstating her feelings about Trump. She's not one to plaster on a pleasant face and pretend for protocol's sake. Michelle doesn't do anything because it's expected or it's protocol or it's tradition.
All right. I purposely want to stop it right here. I'm not going to show any more of this because the last thing that I want to say is Michelle and all the angry Black women out there, they don't do anything because if it's expected or if it's protocol or if it's tradition, the only thing that matters is how they feel in the moment, how Michelle feels in the moment. Her husband be damned, Black man be damned. To hell with you. I'm going to do what I feel like doing, and you can kiss my Black ass. That's what she said. That's what she said. You know, and if there's a lot of men out there, the 78% of the Black men who voted for Kamala Harris, you'll probably agree with Michelle. There'll probably be a whole bunch of guys out there talking about, yeah, it's her choice, blah, blah, blah. Well, it turns out that the Indian Black woman, you know what? She might be Black overall, because when J.D. Vance's wife reached out to her and said, you know, can you show me around the vice president's quarters and houses so I can try to see where I need to, you know, kid-proof it, she ignored her. She ignored her. So maybe she's Black after all. Maybe she's a Black woman after all. You know, because the pettiness is running rampant on that side, right? So, but all the white men, their white women showed up. They don't like Trump and all of that shit. So it's you know, so listen, it's just my rant about this, and I'm not letting up. I think she's wrong. I think she's absolutely wrong. So again, so when I said the purpose of this is the emasculation of the Black man, you know, and she tells her husband to eat shit and die, you know, I thought that maybe that title was a little bit too strong, you know, with, you know, for the stream, but I think it's fitting. You know, again, you know, she doesn't care about what's expected of her. She doesn't care about protocol. She doesn't care about tradition. She doesn't give a shit about her husband and how this makes him look, how disrespectful it looks. She doesn't care. You know what? Hey, Barack, you know, you married me, and this is what you get. You know, hey, what's going on, Trey, man? What's happening? What's happening? So listen, I just really think it's a damn shame. And I got more stuff, but let me just drop this for a second. I just put the link in here for the hell of it. You know, anybody wants to come up, you know, because, you know, what else is next? You know, here's another thing. I have, of course, little clips, and they're not long, but there was a form. And listen, if you don't believe me that Michelle was dog whistling to all the Black women out there who are still on the plantation, you know, and who kind of think this way, that Black men are full of shit, and, you know, we don't have to respect the marriage vows. We don't have to respect you as a Black man. It's just, if I don't feel like doing what's expected of me, you just take it. Just take it, man. You can't go nowhere. Just take it. So I have another clip from of a Black woman saying her piece about Michelle. Okay, what's going on, champ? If you know, I have the clip in there. What's going? Yeah, what's going on? Let me just go ahead and just go through it, because this don't have to be a long rant. There you go.
Okay, Michelle Obama represents me, and I'm glad that she's not, like, if she doesn't want to go, don't go.
Okay, Michelle Obama represents me, the woman queen, right? The woman king of Black women. She represents this Black woman. She said it out of her own mouth. It's not just our pain talking. This is from a Black woman with whatever she's got on top of her head.
I hear, but I just feel like she has gone high. She's gone very high for a very long time. And I have said on the show before, when they go low, we need to match energy. We are in a different era of politics. Also, Donald Trump doesn't want Michelle Obama at his inauguration, so he doesn't care. Like, let that be his day. He won. Go govern. Michelle Obama, go live your best life. Represent the 92 of us who stood up for Kamala Harris. And if Kamala Harris has been more than graceful with presiding over the certification of the election, with showing up, I mean, you laugh, but
Graceful.
You know, again, so obviously Michelle Obama was sending a dog whistle to all the black women out there. That, again, nothing matters but how you feel in the moment, right? And this is the ongoing thing. And then if you bundle that up with all the other stuff that black women feel, oh, we're the most disrespected, we're the most this, we're the most that. Well, you know what? You gotta eat what you champion. You champion fuckery. That's what you champion that. You champion gender affirming care for adolescents. You champion the LBGYNs, whatever the hell, the alphabet community. You champion the open borders. You champion all kinds of horseshit. And then now, you know, you gotta when the chickens come home to roost, you got something else to say. You got something else to say. I mean, at some point, things got to change. Now, listen, think about this. Think about already with this election, if you haven't noticed that you guys are on the wrong side of history, right? Because even if 100% of you voted for Kamala Harris and 100% of black men voted for her, she would have still lost the election. So there's already noticeable decline in the importance of you being around, other than to just sell wolf tickets and try to get your husbands and stuff to follow you back on a matriarchal plantation run by the Democrats. That shit's coming to an end. It should have never happened. 5 decades worth of that. It's coming to an end. You know, men are starting to say, listen, you know, black men, especially, my overriding desire to have a black woman is being superseded by the way you behave, by the betrayals, by all of this horse shit that we got to go through just to love you fucking guys. It's more than an average man who's going to obligate his life to somebody needs to pay. It really is. You know, so it's as long as you'll stay on the plantation and think the way you do, and that your husbands don't matter, and the only thing that matters is how you feel at the time. You can eat shit and die. As long as I'm a black woman and everybody fucking loves me because I'm black. How well is that working? How well is it really working? I know you come on TikTok and everything, you know, yeah, we're educated. Your new champion is Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Well, she's a lesbian. She's over 40-something years old. And she's talking about men like she knows us. And all y'all doing is eating it up while she's grifting all your bullshit to the bank. It's just too much. It's too much. And you're going to be out on this raft by yourself thinking Zaddy's going to come save you. He's not. He is not. You know, so again, I'm saying, you know, I usually don't go on these kind of rants. But Michelle, it's just she did this whole thing about all of the shit that her whole position is due because her last name is Obama. And at the least she could do is show up for the man. That's the least she could do. I don't know if anybody wants to come on. You know. Oh, don't time out Anissa. If that's true, don't time it there. You know, let her roll, man. You know. Yeah, if you can, A-team, take her off a timeout. If she's timed out, take her off. I mean, we want that kind of smoke. We do. Yeah. So I'm glad you caught that, Trey. Yeah. I mean, if that was you, A-team, I wasn't paying attention. Oh man, yeah, that'll come back. Anyway, I should have posted some of her stuff because you know what? She represents the class of women who think that Michelle is okay, you know, and yeah, so it takes all kinds, you know. Yeah, let her come on back up. So I got, you know, like I said, me, I'm the king of letting other people talk, right? You know, so I got another guy. See, I'm not alone on this island, right? I wanted to hear some other people say what they feel about what Michelle did and what it means and how she overlooked this because of her feelings and how the blacks and black women in general are just missing it, you know, just missing it altogether. And then they come back later on and say, well, there ain't no good men out there. Well, good men don't want women like that. Good men don't want women like that. They want to know that, you know what, if I'm gonna obligate my life to you, when I need you, I shouldn't have to beg for you to show up. I shouldn't have to beg for you to do what's expected. I shouldn't have to beg for you to follow the protocols. I shouldn't have to beg for you to follow the traditions that every other woman can do except you. That's just bullshit. You know, it's just bullshit. So, of course, I got another little video and it's a couple minutes long, but I'm gonna let the guy cook. And you tell me what you think in the chat. Uh, there you go.
Every single tiny reaction that came from
A relationship with my doctor friend, Dr. React says, dang, Anton, why I gotta be a black woman problem? The same reason why I'm held to a higher standard as a black man. If you want to change your cultural norms, you have to do things differently. Let me tell you why, doctor, because this goes beyond politics. Let me tell you why. Is because you as a woman have a higher expectation because you are a representation of your husband. What she is not considering is how it makes her husband look. Because it's not just about her. She's an extension of the person that she signed up to marry. That's why it's a problem. And if I just sit here and act like it's not something that happens on a regular basis, I would be being dishonest. I would be dishonest. The reason why you guys get a bad rap is because of what you accept and what you standardize as a cultural norm in the United States of America. This is why. It's because your responsibility is greater than how you feel. It don't matter about whether we don't care about Michelle Obama. Nobody is going to miss her. Nobody is going to say, man, this inauguration is not lit because Michelle Obama is there. Nobody cares. The show goes on. But what does it say? What message are you sending to the people that watch you? How do you represent the person that is actually supposed to be the center of attention as an extension of the president and what their wives are supposed to be like during the inauguration? You make Barack look bad. Let's say, for example, we say, well, Trump skipped an inauguration. Bad man Trump. Okay, cool. We disagree with that. Then you hold him accountable or you have that conversation separately. But does that absolve you from doing what you're supposed to do? Or are you just using that as an excuse to be an angry woman and to not represent what your husband is supposed to be like? And are you tarnishing his legacy for your own selfish reasons? Nobody cares about whether she's there. The conversation that we're having is what it represents. And then does it look bad on the person that she's married to? It's not about you. It's not about you at all. At all. I'll give you an example.
Let me stop it there. What's going on, Trey?
What's good with you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. What's happening?
Not
What you
much.
what?
What's going on with you?
You're all right, man. What you got on the topic, man? I see you in the chat. What you got on the topic, man? What you want to say?
You know, look. She held on for as long as she could. You know what I mean? She did a year before he became the president. She did 8 years. She was doing well. She hung in there for as long as she could without letting that inner feminist, that inner black woman come out. And eventually, like it does all of them, it ate her up.
It came
It
out.
ate her up, and
She said,
it came out, and she couldn't hold it. She couldn't hold it. And listen, I'm telling you, I know it's probably not gonna happen, but you know, if I'm Barack, man, I go get me a little young thing, man. I go get me a little snow bunny tenderoni about 30 years old, you know what I mean, with a master's or a doctorate or something, you know what I mean, and make sure she white and just send a message. Because you know, here's the thing that I don't quite understand, and I'm not completely sure what the agenda of black women is here by alienating yourself from black men. I don't know exactly what you intend on doing here because no other race of men wants you. That's been proven.
Yeah.
Statistics have shown that. So
Right.
I don't know exactly what your end game is here. But if you continue to keep pushing black men away, well, as I said before, in 50 to 55 years, you will have no African American like women in America. They will all be mixed. Every black woman will be mixed with something eventually because black men are just going to venture out somewhere else. But you know, I'm glad it finally came out because and let me tell you something. I looked at that picture from the funeral, and that was the first time where I really felt I don't like Obama. I've never liked him. I didn't like his policies, but I felt for him as a man. Like the fact that he was sitting there at that funeral without his wife. Hillary don't even like Bill. Hillary don't even like Bill. She was there,
Right.
right? Bill had his handler. I mean, Biden had his handler there. Jill Biden was there, right? Laura and George, I ain't seen them in I don't know how long. I didn't even know they were still alive.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like everybody else had their wife with them, regardless of what is going on. And one of the things that our community lacks, our pain, we lack decorum. We lack decorum and class. We've lost that somehow.
Yes.
It's not about whether or not you want to be there. You know how many funerals and graduations and promotions I've been to, and I did not want to be there.
I hear you.
I didn't want to be there. But the protocol, the decorum, the class states that you be there. And you don't get to just say, well, I'm not coming or I had a prior engagement. That's not what you signed up for. So, you know, we need to get back. This community is ever going to get to where they wanted to go. You got to start with class and you got to start with decorum. People have to do things even though they don't want to. There is a protocol. There's a protocol, whether you like it or not.
Let me ask you a question. It doesn't matter whether we make it back as African Americans. Doesn't really matter at this point. Does it matter for black men to actually keep pounding their heads on the goddamn stone for 92% of the women out there who think we should eat shit and die? I mean, really? I mean, is it really? I mean, I got daughters. I mean, I talk to them. They don't seem like these women, but I'm just saying. I mean, because they could find maybe somebody else will find them. But how much more do we have to do?
Well, unfortunately, there was a programming that has happened. I have a daughter too. I mean, she's young, so I said I have time to kind of to fix this.
I blew it. I wasn't even thinking about it. I blew it all in there for
and really, honestly, our pain, you're not alone. Most men weren't thinking about this. You know what I mean? Most men were taking care of their family. They were going to work. They were taking care of their family.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So he didn't have time to think about this. And unfortunately, the feminist social programming snuck into a lot of the homes. And this is why I was saying the other day, because people were saying, well, a lot of these women would have these problems with fathers in the house. No, that's not really making a difference. That's not making a difference anymore. Because if it's a good dad was out working. And dad wasn't always home as much as he wanted to be home. And so that programming is there. And what you have right now, I'm telling you, Arpain, you got some crazy programming. And Michelle Obama is just a microcosm of it. That's all it really is. I mean, this is happening at a unprecedented level of women who share our reflection, just not even wanting to do even half the things that would further our community to make it better by playing their particular role. I remember I said the other night on your stream, we don't need y'all to work. That's not what we need from y'all in this community. We don't need y'all to be career oriented. We got black kids that can't read.
Right.
That's not what we need y'all. We need y'all at home teaching these kids.
Right. Right. I mean, and that's the furthest thing from their minds. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because they look at being good mothers as something that takes away from their own personal, because community and legacy don't mean shit. It seems like a community and legacy going down through the father, right, to kids and grandchildren. I was like, well, I don't want to be burdened with that responsibility. Yeah, the only unfortunate part is the chicks that don't have no money, or the chicks who are down in the hood. They having their kids. I think the birth rates is starting to go down, and even with that, but still, I mean, it just looks bad with all the women who are supposed to be well-to-do, that the last thing on their mind is being wives and mothers. And it's crazy. And so Michelle, and I think Michelle purposely is throwing this dog whistle out there. It's not happenstance that she used this. If she thinks she's going to use this as a springboard to try to run for president 4 years from now, that's just going to backfire big time. And it kind of depends.
And the other part of this is too is I've heard all week, Trump didn't go to the inauguration, and Trump had a legitimate reason why he didn't. One of his reasons was he thought that they cheated.
That's right.
He thought they rigged the election. Now listen, I don't care. I believe in protocol. He should have been there. I'm not absolving him from his absence.
Right.
He should have been there, and there should have been a transfer of power. But his reasoning was, you rigged this election. You stole it from me, because nobody gets 81 million votes. Nobody gets 81 million votes. No. Kamala didn't even get close. Kamala got what, 72, 74?
Yeah. Where's the 80? Where's the difference? Where's those other votes?
But here's the thing. The question is ask yourself, what was Michelle's reason for not going to the funeral?
And she won't tell.
Well, she doesn't have one. There is.
Right.
Did you not like Jimmy Carter? What did Jimmy Carter do to you? You know what I mean? But this is what we have. We have these pro-blacks. Let me tell you something. The red pill is dead, and you pro-blacks are done. Y'all are cooked. Because when they get a divorce, and more than likely they will, when they get a divorce, all it's going to say is the black marriage is done. If Barack and Michelle can't keep it together, you have no, y'all cooked. This thing is over. So all you pro-blacks and all you hating, you self-hating, no, you pro-blacks are losing. Y'all are losing. That's what's happening.
This is the kind of bullshit, right, that has gotten us in a quandary anyway, right? We can't even be self-critical without somebody saying, some stupid shit, right?
What about the white man?
Yeah. Hey, team, I know you said there's a way for me to, I never really untimed out anybody. I didn't learn those controls yet, so I can't bring Anissa back, and that's a damn shame. How long was she supposed to be timed out for? Because
the last I saw it said 300 seconds. I can't see it anymore, so I guess that's like another 5 minutes. But that was like 4 minutes ago. So she should be able to come back by now.
So it's up to her.
Here she goes. She back.
Yeah, don't time anybody out. Yeah.
No, Anissa. It has nothing to do with help financially. You guys, you black women, have a problem with spending. And the statistics back me on this, because you're all in debt, and you lead in not only in consumer debt, but you lead also in student loan debt.
Right.
You guys have a spending problem. Now, granted, I will say yes. Could we make more money? Absolutely. But that's always going to be driven by the economy. And yes, the inflation is crazy. I did the CPI. Have you done the CPI calculator? Oh, you got to do the CPI calculator. You have to do that. Put in like 40,000. What was 40,000 in like 1980 versus what it would be now? It's like $100,000. So I'm not arguing that we need more money. The problem with having Black women become career oriented is y'all don't know how to flip the switch.
Right.
You bring your career home with you. So if you delegated work, if you're a boss at work, you come home with that same attitude. If you're masculine at work, you come home with the same attitude. I'll be damned if you tell me what to do. That ain't gonna happen. So
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
that's the problem. That's the problem. If y'all could turn it off, if you could go to work and then you could turn it off and come home and be feminine, be nurturing, be a mother, be a wife, I don't think men would have a problem. They wouldn't care. But because y'all can't do that, the question is do y'all actually need to go to work at this point? It's not working. Everything that they've tried since the 70s is not working. The Black community is getting worse and worse and worse. It's not working.
Yeah, but here's another thing. At that point, here's another thing that I think we're not taking into account. A lot of men are more practical about college. They're saying I can get a vocational, I can go the vocational route or the junior JUCO route. There's no real flex in getting a BS and an MS and getting in $100,000 worth of debt if I can't find a job that can pay off that loan. And one more thing to all you Black women, Biden is going. There ain't going to be no more loan forgiveness. I think that's going away with him. So they got this equally yoked shit, right? If you have a certificate in HVAC, electricity, or whatever the hell it is, cars and all that, for the so-called educated Black woman, right? They look at it as dating down to have a guy who can work with his hands, right? Who probably would make one of the better husbands because when the economy is bad, he knows how to make money, as opposed to working on a corporate job, And when he gets laid off, now you hate him because he ain't bringing in the dough, right? So he's on the clock no matter what, right? But this guy can say, shit, man, he can go out there and fix some cars, do some HVAC, do some plumbing, stuff that is not driven by the economy, So even if he was a mortician, shit, man, those guys they'll never run out of clientele, So I just think that we just got all kinds of problems. I see this guy talking about Trump. We already talked about Trump and Biden. It's one of those things when people say, "Yeah, Trump didn't come," whatever. Well, if my kid had a friend and my friend, the friend was doing something stupid, and my kid, well, Jane did it. I said, that's no reason why you should do it. That's just stupid. Yeah, you're on mute.
No, I was just agreeing with you. No, you're right. Like,
man. Somebody else did it. That's what you leave to do.
Yeah, and again, what does that have to do with us and our protocol?
Absolutely.
What does that have to do with us and the way we do things?
Nothing.
See, the thing is you only want to excuse Michelle's behavior because you want to use Trump's behavior. That's the only reason. And so, which tells me that I now know that people like men and women who are excusing no, Black women have a problem making money. Y'all make less money than Black men. So I don't know where you get that from. Black men still out earn Black women. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Even without
with all those degrees y'all got, y'all still making less money. So that doesn't make any sense. Again, this is why I say this stuff is cooked. Like, this stuff is cooked, and this is why I'm like, listen, if Barack want to send a real message, this is what you do, Barack. You get a divorce, you go get yourself a cute little snow bunny, and you show up on the scene with your little snow bunny. That'll send a message to every Black woman. Yeah, y'all keep playing these games if y'all want to. And the women who have the most to say are paying, they get left behind.
Yeah, that's
These
true.
Be single baby mamas. They got the most to say.
They do. And it's funny. Barack get himself a snow bunny and said, I wanted to get in touch with my white half. I did the black half. Now it's time to get in touch with my white half. I've been neglecting it too long. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy. But Black women think a lot of stupid shit is a flex, right? They're buying a house with nobody to put in it. They think it's a flex. You got one salary. It's just you, repairs and all that shit, maintenance, and you're not even renting one out. That's a liability.
At a time when interest rates are the highest they've ever been.
Absolutely. And then nobody can tell you, nah, this is not a good deal right now. Oh no, I got to show everybody I got a house. It got 24 fucking windows on the first floor, and it's just you in there, right? So you got no security, nothing. Or your ring camera is enough, right? So I mean, it's just dumb shit, man. Or being a single baby mama, right? It's a flex now because women like the chick who was in her 40s, everybody likes her, but whatever her name is, it's a flex. And half the women, I said this before, who say they're single mothers, they're not single mothers if their men are co-parenting. If the guy is co-parenting and has a kid on a regular basis and he's paying you money, you are not a single mother. You're not married, but you're not a single mother. So it's not a flex. Oh, I did it all by myself and all this bullshit. So anyway, I mean, we just got so many issues, and like I said, I don't envy the guys just in this day and age. I don't envy the women either, because there are some out there who want to do right, but you got to wade through them. So I didn't have a whole lot of thing. I have this sister from Africa, right? She's a African diaspora. I don't have her, but I got a video of her, and she doesn't like what Michelle. We saw Anton Daniels, just like any other man. We don't like what happened, but I want to play this video from this sister from. Because the black women out there in the diaspora, they look at American black women. They do. You can't avoid it. People look at you. So I'm going to play this one. It's not long. I might have to fix it.
Michelle Obama has a lot of people talking because she says she is not going to Donald Trump's inauguration on the 20th of January. She says, I'm not going, didn't say why, but of course we know that she was also absent from the 39th president of the United States, Jimmy Carter's funeral. Everybody else was there, Hillary and Bill, Laura and George Bush, they were there, and Obama was there by himself. Of course, Trump and Melania was there, right? So a lot of people was like, well, where was Michelle? Now, of course,
let me stop it here for a second. See this? They made a lot of headlines out of these guys talking. This is a little bit off topic, but isn't just what men do? We could argue with each other. You know what I'm
But they
saying?
forget, our pain, they forget they're cool.
Right.
Like
right.
people think that they hate each other. No, that's because you can't have a debate with somebody without getting your personal emotional feelings involved.
Exactly.
People don't realize Trump and Obama have been cool for a long time.
Yeah.
I remember when Trump first went into office, they were talking about how the Obama family and the Trump family have had dinners together. This was prior to him even running.
And it was when Obama roasted him at that damn thing where the gloves came off. And I remember that because he roasted him in that. They had that I guess news dinner, whatever they call it. Every year it happens where you roast somebody, and he roasted Trump pretty bad in the audience.
Yeah, the correspondence dinner.
Yeah. So I mean, so sitting down here, you could just tell that the little chuckles, whatever it is, was just natural. It's just natural. It's not even like they were forcing that shit, right? And everybody was in an uproar. But get back to Michelle. You should have been there. So let me go back to this lady here.
And here's the thing: I'm not tripping off the inauguration. I don't really care about the inauguration too much.
Right.
The funeral, she should have been there.
I agree with that.
The funeral, she should have been there because that's just protocol. The inauguration, she wants to skip on the inauguration because she don't rock with Trump or she don't like him. Fine, whatever. I don't really care that much tomorrow. But when you're skipping funerals of past presidents and you are married to the 44th president, that's a problem. That's a huge problem.
So one way or the other, for some people, they probably would agree with you. For me, it's like both. But I hear you. No argument.
Michelle is not a big fan of Trump at all. A lot of people are saying she's probably not going to be there because he said a lot of mean things about her and her family. She felt like, Trump has put her family in danger. Of course, Trump went on with a birtherism theory that Obama was not born in America. I guess he was born in Kenya. That's what he was saying. That's kind of when Trump came onto the political scene. And MAGA has loved him ever since, right? But nevertheless, A lot of people are like, well, I don't blame her for not going. And some people are saying, well, it kind of looks bad that she's not going. Well, I'm one of those people that kind of feel like it looks bad because your husband, who was a president, right, twice, he's going to be sitting there on that stage by himself when all the other former presidents are going to be there with their wives. And Michelle, for whatever reason, she's abstaining not to be there. Now, some people are saying, well, maybe it's a scheduling conflict. But someone made a good point on one of my comment threads that said, well, Michelle knew that an inauguration was coming up for 4 years, right? It happens every 4 years. So, she doesn't have a better planner to schedule her events and this, that, and the other. I mean, your husband didn't have a problem going. I tend to just think she doesn't want to go because she doesn't like Trump. And I'd imagine a lot of people on that stage doesn't like Trump. I mean, Hillary and Trump, they were going head to head in 2016, and he was calling for her to be locked up, called her a nasty woman, and a whole host of other things. But yet, there she is. She's going to be there. So she says, right? But we also know that they're all friends in the end. They, play games for everybody else to get all wrapped up into politics. But, the Trumps and the Clintons, they went to each other's kids' weddings and things like that. So it's
Look
not
at
a
that.
big deal. But yeah, I think it looks bad. I think Michelle should suck it up and say, you know what, I hate Trump. And let's keep it a buck. The Obamas have said bad things about Trump, right? They talk bad about each other. But as I was saying, I would say, okay, yes, I hate Trump. I hate his guts. But you know what? I'm going to put on my flyest clothes. I'm going to get my hair did and makeup just so. And I'm going to sit real cute like next to my man. Because I don't want my man to be there by himself while everybody else is there with their woman. I'm going to be there with him, snug as a bug in the rug. I don't have to speak to Trump. The most I'll probably do is, how you doing? But that's it. I'm not going to get in no conversation, but I'm not going to have my man sitting up there in front of the world by himself, shivering because it's going to be cold, right? And everybody's like, man, where's Michelle? Obama's sitting right there by himself. I think it's messed up, regardless of why she's not there. I think she should be there. Well, how about this? If it was my man, I would be there because it ain't about me. It ain't about my man. It's about decorum. It's about tradition. And I know some people are saying, oh, traditions are made to be broken. Yes, that is true. Now, my other theory is this. I think that she's standing in solidarity with the 92% of Black women that showed up for Kamala. Because y'all saw Kamala when she turned around at the funeral and looked at Obama like, oh, yeah, I'm sure enough going to tell on you.
Dog whistling. That's all it is. Just come on. Oh my God.
Now, I know you ain't talking to him.
She might be Black after all.
She's standing in solidarity with the 92% of Black women that are mad at the rest of the country because they didn't vote for Kamala. I don't know. That's just my theory. I could be wrong, but nevertheless, I would be there. Would you? So anyway, y'all tell me what you think of that. And for more insight.
Exactly.
Hey, look, R-Pain, I'm glad it happened. Like I said, I'm glad it happened because I knew she was faking. I knew she was faking. I was like, eventually, because when it started, when I first saw the first chink in the armor, when she did the interview and she said me and Barack didn't like each other for 10 years, I went, Listen, most people didn't watch the entire interview. I went back and watched the entire interview. What she was actually saying was, she was trying to get women to say, listen, don't quit on your marriage. That was really her message. But they skipped the part when she was talking about, by the way, she was trying to get her career off the ground too.
Right.
He was getting his off. He was trying to be the senator and all that. He's getting his off, but she was trying to get hers off too. This is constant competition between Black women and Black men. And I can do anything you can do, and I can make as much money as you can do. And they don't realize that it's all by design. It's been designed for you to be that way, to take you out of the home and put you into the workforce. So A, that you pay taxes for number one. But B, so that they can control the Black community, because if they don't put us together, they can control us. We constantly fighting with each other. And listen, I'm not a pro-Black. I'm not a pro-Black guy. Yeah, but I can see what's right in front of me. It's right in front of me from my own two eyes. Like, yo, this is clearly by design. They're doing this on purpose. And the Black women just fall. They keep falling for it. So I'm glad that the other shoe finally fell, so people can see that this is what Black men, and if the 44th president can't keep his woman in line, we could. This is done. This is over.
You know, and the funniest thing though is you're right in your analysis. But if she would have never met Barack Obama, she probably would have never hit the heights that she's at right now. She certainly
Facts.
wouldn't be a black woman king, you know? And it's like she ain't even give him no credit for that. I mean, for that, just you know what I'm saying? It was more important to her to flex in front of all those black women than it was to support her husband. And there's no excuse for that. You know, there's no excuse that I can see. And you know, they even got me ranting. I can't stand. I don't like ranting like that. But I mean, it's just bad. It's just bad mojo.
It's a bad look. And the lady who was in the video, she hit it spot on. It's a bad look from a decorum standpoint.
Right.
From a decorum standpoint. Listen, I've been, like I said, I've been to funerals. I couldn't stand that dude that was in that box. And to be quite honest with you, kind of glad he was dead. You know what I mean? To be honest with you, because he was that much of hell in our lives.
Right,
but
right.
The protocol says that I'm supposed to be there, and I'm supposed to wear this and a tie and whatever, you know, whatever the protocol says. Follow the protocol and do it. What is it? What was it? An hour, 2 hours out of your day?
Yeah, out of your
You
day.
know what I mean?
Right? To show some respect.
Follow the protocol. And you got me feeling bad for a man that I don't even like. I felt bad for him. Like, yeah, he really is sitting there without his wife.
Right.
He looks crazy.
Unbelievable. Yeah, he looks, you know, he looks abandoned. You know, he looks abandoned again, a lot of women, they don't give a shit about this, but and some men don't either. But the truth of the matter is men, you know, have, I guess, reputations to uphold with their peers and the other men that they might admire, right? You know, that's why you don't bring some scrag in front of your CEO, right? Or something like that, right? So the woman matters that you're cleaved to. It just does. And, you know, the more they pull away from that, the more that they're out there, there's nobody coming for you. And I think at some point, black men are going to be done, right? And especially as black men are starting.
They are already done.
Done. They
are already done.
Yeah. I mean, if you listen to some of the female content creators and say black men are already done.
Black men have hung it up. Black men have hung it up. You know, I have been at office parties or office functions, and I've seen, you know, my superiors, my bosses bring their wives in, and their wives get drunk or they're ratchet or classless behavior. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing because on that Monday morning when I walk in, all I can remember is that your wife was in there twerking. Ass cheeks all over the place. You ever remember that video? It was a military video. They were standing on the stage, they were dancing, and it was like a general was dancing, and his wife was getting ready to turn around and start twerking. And he grabbed her. He grabbed her. Yeah, snatched her real quick, like yo, because they don't realize it has long-lasting effects on that man.
Right.
And you know what the real problem of it is that because women don't ever remember that these things affect you in the long run, they think, oh, it's no big deal. I can do whatever I want because there's no big deal. But the fact of the matter is that these things have issues. And it could be the difference between you getting in that meeting, that board meeting that may get you the promotion. It may be the difference between you getting that 3 minutes in front of the CEO to pitch your idea. It may be the difference between you getting that lunch, to be able to go to that lunch, to sit at that table. It may be the difference for opening doors for you. Kevin Samuels told a great story about him taking a hooker to an office party. You remember that? He told a story about he took a hooker.
What happened? What was the outcome?
He took a hooker to an office party. His superior had also been messing with the same hooker. They was in the bathroom. He like, hey, you know, I say her name is Cindy. He was like, oh, Cindy's a great girl. She's a great girl. So the guy, he sees like, okay, Kevin got good taste. He started pulling Kevin into the meetings. Hey, we want you, you know, you take this team, you take that team. And now Kevin's career starts to go up. They don't understand. And like I say all the time, a lot of people don't realize, a lot of women, y'all have a lot more power than y'all think I do. I think the male ego tries to suppress it, right? But the truth of the matter is that you can make or break a man. It's the truth. You can make or break a man. You can really, and I don't mean by make him by like, you're the pusher, but your mere presence, the way you conduct yourself, the way you behave, can put him in such a bright light that people say, man, if you picked her as a wife, I know you make good choices. I know you make good decisions because that's a winner for a wife that you picked, or that's a winner for, a girlfriend, or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? But conversely, if you pick one that's terrible, it also has a bad look on you. And then people don't want to be around you. Like, yo, that's what you picked? Nah, I'm good.
And you taking it, I mean, remember Set It Off when Stoney went to that party in the black dress? First of all, she never looked prettier than she did in that black dress.
Yeah, she was killing it. She was killing to Set It Off.
And then, of course, when they questioned her, she acted like she belonged. And my man was really proud of her. He said, "Oh my God," he was nervous for a second.
He's impressed.
And she started throwing all that. He said, "Oh man, yeah." All that street stuff was going and all. So it really matters. It was subtle in the movie, but it mattered. It matters. So, I mean, that's what it is. I mean, I don't have any more other than just conversation. I just wanted to get that out there about Michelle. I'm very disappointed in her for her doing that, but I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. And her rationale and all the black women who are trying to support her, I'm definitely not surprised that they're coming out after her because it's a big major dog whistle. And
but what exactly are you supporting? See, that's where I'm confused.
Right.
What are you supporting? Are you supporting that we don't need decorum in class? Is that what we're saying? We don't need decorum in class. Like what exactly? Here's Pence's wife. Pence's wife was at the funeral. She didn't even look up. She didn't even shake their hands.
Right.
She didn't want to deal with them, but she was there.
She was there. Yep.
She was there.
I have this stream where two guys are like behavioral scientists about body language, and they went through that whole funeral talking about it was something. They worked for the FBI and all that kind of stuff, and they went through Pence's wife. They went through everybody and how they were interacting with each other. It was some great stuff.
Isn't it funny that all the drama is with the women, but the men who are actually fighting for the positions are chilling and like laughing and joking with each other? But all the drama is with the women. I find that crazy to me. Like, why do you have all this drama? Meanwhile, Obama and Trump, who are clearly diametrically opposed, right, are sitting there chuckling and laughing with each other. Chatting it up.
And everybody wants to be a fly on the wall about what they were talking about. They said they had some like lip readers trying to find out what they.
I'm gonna tell you exactly what they were saying. Trump asked Barack, "Where's Michelle?" He said she couldn't make it, and Trump said, "I wish Melania couldn't have made it." And then they start laughing. That's exactly what happened.
He would say that with his wife sitting right next to him, man. Shit.
And look at Melania's face. Melania don't want to be there.
No, she don't.
I was watching the inauguration today when they were walking out, when Trump was walking out, and they were holding hands. She didn't even want to hold his hand.
No,
but she's very good at following protocol. She's very good at having decorum in class and just I'll just go along with it because I don't want to embarrass him. Because to me, and I think this is where we mess up. It doesn't have enough of an effect and a consequence on the woman. It's always on the man. But it doesn't have enough of an effect to say, why are you behaving this way? You're the issue here in this particular case. And I'll use the Trump for example. Him not showing up to the inauguration, that's poor behavior. That's poor decorum. That's no class, Trump. Whether you think it was rigged or not, you still should have been there and had a peaceful transfer of power. We can work everything else out on the back end, right? But this idea that you don't have to follow the decorum, you don't have to follow the protocol. It's crazy to me because now guess what you're going to start to see? You're going to see more rebellion from you.
Oh no!
Because now the first black first lady of the country is rebellious. So now all the rest of them are going to be rebellious. And this is why I've been saying lately, listen, black women are starting to become an L. Y'all are starting to become a loss. And you are not becoming a value add at this point. And black men are looking at this and going, why would I ever put myself in that situation? Why would I ever do that to myself if I'm trying to ascend to certain heights? And I know that in the corporate world, who I attach my wagon to matters.
Right. And when I need you, I expect you to show up. You know, I expect you to show up. I don't expect you to give me no black
Show
girl
up and
magic.
show out.
That's right. Yeah. Instead, I get black girl magic, which hasn't been positive in a long time. Hasn't been positive in a long time. So, you know, it's just so many examples we could go through, but I think the black women want to be on their own. I just think that they actually want to be, a lot of them want to be on their own.
And we should let them.
Yeah.
And I'm serious. And we should let them. Remember, I said that we need to let the Gen X, millennial, and Gen Z black women, we need to let that dissipate. We need to work on the alpha. The alpha generation is young enough that we can get to them. But
Right.
we need to let them go. What's up, black man? We need to let them go. You know what I mean? We need to let them go through and let them have this. Because what I'm starting to see is, I just turned 40 last month, right? What I'm
Okay.
starting to see is that I'm seeing some 40-year-old women, right, that are regretting their decisions
Yes.
within
Yes.
within my own family, within social on social media. I'm starting to see a lot of regret for, this is not what I want.
Yes. Yeah.
And what I really want is the husband, the family, right? But I don't know how to get that down, and my window may have closed. And the issue is that for a black man at his 40, my window is wide open.
Wide open. You know, it's funny that you bring that up, because I had a conversation with my daughter. She's not opposed to relationships or nothing like that. She has a few here and there. But I told her, I said, well, you're still young. You're still relatively young to what I'm saying. But when that biological window actually starts to close and you know it, your thought process is going to change. You're not, you know, the regret that you have, you're not prepared for. And just because you might not want to, you know, do something drastic, you're still going to feel that. I said, all these women that you see, she mentioned Ellis Frost, right? I said, that she's as miserable as a sock puppet. Right? I mean, because no matter how she presents, you know, all the accolades, all the money, all the friends, they ain't there but a fraction of the time. She's alone. And alone meaning that when I say alone, it doesn't mean you don't have no friends. It means that you're alone, that you don't have nobody, you don't have no muse in your life other than, you know, the kind of relationship that you can get. And even though, you know, I'm not saying you're supposed to go into some kind of depression, but it's something you feel. And I said, well, how do you know that? Well, I can see the pictures that she posts. I can see the way she behaves and how she try to reinforce that she don't need nothing. And that's all bullshit. It's all bullshit.
It's cope. It's
Yeah.
cope. I have a 35-year-old sister. It's cope. And she
Yeah.
she doesn't have any kids. She's not married. She chose her career, right?
Right.
And now, as she's starting to get older, and as my kids start to get a little bit older, right?
Right.
Yeah, I have,
Right.
you know, I got a teenager now. You know what I
Yeah, oh,
mean?
yeah,
As my
that's
kids
right.
start to get older, right? You know what I mean? She looks at this and she's like, yeah, your window has closed. You're in geriatric pregnancy now. Your window has closed, or it's closing. And it's closing faster and faster every single day.
Every year. Right.
And now it's, well, I want to be, I think I want to be with somebody. When she fumbled a guy who was making $300,000 a year. I'll never forget when she called me and told me, and I was like, oh, I'm dating this guy. He's really nice. So I started asking the particulars. You know what I mean?
Right.
What does he do? Oh, he's in IT. I said, okay, good. That's great. That's, you know, how much money he make? I think he makes like a little bit over 250, maybe $300,000 a year. I said, really?
Yeah.
I said, you want to understand how rare that is?
Toe fungus. Yeah, toenail fungus. What did she leave?
Yeah. So the issue was, again, they weren't together. He's making money. He's dating. He's dating. She wanted to put shackles on him, and for the two of them to be exclusive. And I'm like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Y'all aren't there yet. Well, I don't know how I feel about him going out with other women. He can do whatever he wants. Y'all not together. You can go out with other men if you so choose. But what happened was, because she had never dated in that realm before, she didn't realize that, maybe, you got competition.
Right.
And I told her, it's like, you got competition. You're in LA. You got competition. You
Absolutely.
think you're the only hot 31-year-old in LA?
and you got a guy who knows he's a prize. Are you kidding me? That's it. You know, and
You got to go put in some work. And so eventually the end result is that he wasn't really interested in me.
okay.
And well, I told her, I said, you just fumbled probably a pretty decent guy because you didn't want to compete. And not only did you not want to compete, you thought too high of yourself that you didn't have to compete.
Right.
Which I think is crazy to me. Because we
Right.
all are competing. Even if
Everybody.
I were to go to Brazil right now and I'm still competing. There are other
Everybody.
men there. Everybody's competing. We're all competing.
Yeah, everybody.
So you know, it's just one of those things where it gets a little bit confusing. And I want to feel bad for them, but at the same time, I feel like they have unlimited ammo and they keep shooting themselves in the foot.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it's like, at what point in time are you going to stop doing this? When are you going to stop shooting yourself in the foot? At what point in time are you going to say, hey, look, maybe the bill of goods that we were sold, it wasn't right. It was spoiled.
Right.
Yeah, it's a lie.
It's a lie. It's an absolute lie. And you know, and it's not a mistake that Black women fall for. I think all you need to do to hypnotize Black women is give them positive affirmation that everything they do is okay. That's it. You know, they champion every piece of fuckery out there, man. Whether it's Rainbow champion that, champion gender affirming care for children, they champion every goddamn thing that's no good. You know what the problem is, and I think we need to see more of it. We need more conservative Black women. All the Black women are liberals, ultra liberals, all of them. And you know, I was gonna do this, Trey, and I didn't do this for this thing because I didn't want to lose track. I did a live on this channel, and I put up like 15 different Black women who were mayors, AGs, or judges, and they all fumble in the bag. All fumble in the bag. All of them going to jail, getting disbarred.
Fonnie Willis, the judge, the postal judge, all of them.
Just fumble in the bag. Not to mention the one in California. But I did say this. I don't think you were here. When that Australian guy was, interviewing her when she got off the plane from Ghana, I don't know, Karen Bass, I got to admit, if I was there, I would have said something to the dude. I wouldn't be able to stand there, even if I thought she deserved it. I would have been hard pressed because she's diminutive, right? And him like barreling down on her, I said, oh, God damn it. I would have to say something. I would. I would have to say, yo, man, you got to back off enough. Just enough.
I would have said something if she would have tried. The fact that she didn't say anything,
okay,
to me almost looks like she didn't care. It came off cold. It came off cold to me. I get what you're saying because he's kind of towering over her a little bit. And he's kind of pressing her with these questions. He's pressing her with the questions.
Aren't
right?
you confident?
But at the same time, you're in politics. It's what you signed up for.
That's what you signed up for.
And when disasters happen, you're going to get pressed. That's what's going to happen. People are dying. People are losing their homes. People are having to relocate and evacuate. People want answers. You need to answer these questions. Mayor Bass, what is going on? Especially considering that you've cut budgets.
Right.
So people are starting to connect the dots and going, now wait a minute here. You know?
Well, but how about the Palisades Reservoir that was empty, right?
That was because they said it was under repair or something, right? It was broken.
They know what's coming every year, right? The lady she put in charge was, I think, a Hispanic woman. And she's making $750,000 a year. And guess what her number one priority was? Hiring more women. Not fixing the dam. She had I wish I would have had that for the live. She had her priorities they had on camera. Oh, my number one is getting diversity and equity into this thing. Not fixing the reservoir. Not worrying about the fact that Santa Ana happens every single year and there's fires every year.
The winds, the fires every single year. Like at this point, there's no excuse. I was asking that question the other day. I'm like, how do you guys know it's coming? It's like hurricanes and tropical storms in Florida. You know they're coming. Why are we not more prepared with this, and I believe that reservoir holds 1 million gallons.
117 million gallons of water.
117 million gallons. So more than enough water to probably help put this thing out.
He's supposed to have bay in certain areas somewhere, you know. But I
It's just it's unsettling, our pain. Because my question is what, like, you get elected, you would think your job is to, and I keep saying this, you work for the people,
right?
Not for your own personal agenda, not to make more money, but somehow the politics in America has gotten flipped to where if I become a politician, hey, my number one goal is to get paid, first off.
Right.
And number two is to propel myself to the next, you know. So if I want to be an alderman, I'm only working as an alderman so that I can become a councilman. And as a councilman, I'm only working so I can become a mayor. And you know what I mean? Like it's all self-promotion. Here in DC, I went to high school with a guy who's looking at bribery charges. He was a councilman looking at bribery charges. Here in DC, I went to high school with him. It's like
it's crazy, yeah. And just to be fair, some of the liberal black guys do the same stupid shit.
Absolutely, and to be completely fair, there's conservative men who do crazy, wild stuff too.
Right. But man, but the only reason why it stands out is because when you are breaking into the politics and you're starting to get these positions, you're under a certain microscope. How many Tiffany Henyas can we live with? You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy. And you know, and people are gonna stop voting based on identity politics. It's coming. It's coming, right? And you know, there was a man who ran against Karen Bass. He was a billionaire. People didn't like him because he was, you know, he tried to point himself off as a Democrat, but he's more like a conservative. So he built a whole community of people, but he built it to code to withstand fires, right, as best he can. So this guy out in California, he was on Bill Maher. If you look at the last Bill Maher show, I forgot his name. So he also hired a private fire force, right? So his whole community,
I heard about that.
His whole community was safe from the fires, not safe, but you know, protected because the way he built the homes. And not only that, he started to go into the fact that he saved his community and all the businesses that's in it, the waiters did, the people didn't get fired who support the community, so they still had their jobs to come back to. So that's another thing about the fires. It's not just the homeowners; it's all the support people who rely on those neighborhoods, right? The people who sell food, do this, do that, they lost their jobs too. It's a disaster. It's a big disaster. And guess who's going to pay for that? We are.
The people.
Yeah, we're going to pay. All the rest of us are going to pay for that. There's no doubt about that. There's no way. Anyway, man, it's, you know, Michelle, you look bad, and but the exposure is something I think we need to talk about, and it's not just me talking about it. It's spreading. You know, all the people who are, you know, this is not even red pill shit. It's just being a black man and looking at a black woman, telling a black man, eat shit and die about whatever you need. It's about my feelings. It's about the 92% who voted for me and all that, voted for, you know, Kamala Harris, and it's just a bad look. Anyway,
it's main character energy. It's my show. I'm the star. You're gonna do what I want you to do. We're gonna make this about me. And unfortunately, like you said, this is a dog whistle to a lot of black women that say, "Oh, well, she can do it. I ain't got to go to that either, and I ain't got to be a part of that either."
He was a two-term president.
Yeah, he's two-term president. And not only that's it. Whether I like him or not, I have a lot of reverence for him because he gave young black boys the thought that, hey, you know what? Maybe if I work hard enough, maybe if I make the right connections, I might be able to be president.
Right.
Right. If I work hard enough, if I study hard enough, maybe I can become president. I'm never going to take that away from him. Ever.
Yeah. Right.
But what we're seeing is something that we've been trying to fight for a long time, which is when they got to get in line. And I'm telling you, man, listen, I got a homeboy. He's getting ready to go. He's going through a divorce. I asked him what he was going to do. He literally took a picture of his passport and sent it back to me. And I said, well, damn. And I'm telling you, this is just where black men are at. And it's unfortunate. I don't think they want to be there. But I'm on a different. I've decided just not even. I can't lose if I don't play, so I'm not even in the game. You know what I mean? But I've seen a lot of black men who are saying they're going monk mode. They're doing everything but I'm gonna go find me a black man.
Right.
And that's unfortunate because that means that the ultimate plan, it worked.
That's right. It worked. And then you get the blackity blacks, which I don't support either, like Umar Johnson talking all that shit about black men. He won't even marry one. He won't even marry one.
He ain't even married.
And nobody challenges him, man. So you keep talking this shit. You got 2 baby mamas, and neither one of them is somebody paying child support or whatever you have is more profitable. Well, not profitable. It's beneficial other than because he's worried about putting his other shit on the line. So he's just talking shit. But I give him credit because I think he's the one who came up with Snow Bunny, which has to be the greatest derogatory term
and
ever.
and Pink Punani, my favorite. Pink Punani is my favorite.
Everybody uses Snow Bunnies now, and you don't even get flagged for that. I think white ladies like being called Snow Bunnies. Actually, so all
and it's not a term of endearment. I don't know why.
It's
I don't know why
not.
It's not.
It's not. But it's like everybody likes rabbits, little bunnies. So just Snow Bunny. Anyway, yeah, but we ain't gonna pink pudding pops.
Pop is hilarious.
It's all right.
All right, okay. It was good talking to you.
Man, thanks for coming up, man. I appreciate that, man. We'll talk again. And everybody out in the chat, thanks for chatting it up, man. And this lady, I'm sorry, got timed out for a little bit, but no harm, no foul. We needed you to have your little take on it. I know Obama's your woman king. And for the rest of you, I appreciate y'all supporting the chat. And as I do now, I have one more thing to show you, and you know what it is. And I think it's a good day for America. But again, I'm no Republican. I'm going to be a registered independent probably. But the conservatives and Republicans are on the clock, right? Trump is putting out a lot of wolf tickets. So he's going to have to show and prove. So there's no free ride for him. But the country seems to be in the right position for him to enact a lot of stuff that he wants to do, whether you like the man or not. Everybody was tired of this woke bullshit, being canceled for your own opinions and, not being able to post on social media. Actually, Candace Owens got her monetization back the same day of today with the inauguration because they tried to get her canceled and she said, hell with it. She still kept posting. I think she's over 3 million subscribers or some shit like that. And she just got her monetization back today. And she was talking about that. And she thinks it's due to the fact that Trump has gotten all these social media people to say, you know what, you got to stop censoring people, especially if they're telling the truth. I appreciate that, Curtis, and we'll try to get it. I mean, I know it's a little bit different to me, but I wanted to talk about this shit was bothering me when Michelle did. But like I said, it's a great day for America. And I'm going to leave you guys again with this. And happy Martin Luther King Day. And listen up. And, I tried it. This AI generator, I love it.
To the sunlight, shining bright and clear. Hope is in the air, spread it far and near. From the mountains to the valleys, every heart can hear a brand new celebration. Let's embrace the cheer. It's a new day for America. Let the banners fly. With unity as our anthem, our dreams will never die. Together we'll rise, holding God's hand. A new dawn is breaking in across this land. Voices from the city, echoes from the plains, stories of tomorrow flowing through our veins. Dreamers and believers will forge a way ahead in the tapestry of freedom. Every ready, stand. It's a new day for America. Let the band inside. With unity as our anthem, our dreams will never die. Together we'll rise, holding God's hand. Our new dawn is breaking in across this land. No more looking backward, the past is just a guide. With courage in our heart and hope as our pride. We build a brighter future where every voice can sing. In this land in many colors, let freedom ring. It's a new day for America. Let the banners fly. With unity as our anthem, our dreams will never die. Together we'll rise, hold God's hand. A new dawn is breaking in across this land. Here's to tomorrow with dreams take flight. One tapestry of culture, we'll band it down to Friday. It's a new day for America. Come thunder and rain. In land of possibilities, and love will always reign. Oh, 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 oh.
Hey, well, hey, listen, remember, it is a new day for America. And one of the things I think we need to do as Black people is understand that the American dream belongs to us as much as it does anybody else. Just got to get over the fact that leading with our skin color is not necessarily the best thing for us to always do. We go out there and compete for the things we want in life, and it's more fulfilling that way. When racism hits you, you'll know it. But other than that, just keep trying to open those doors. We're Americans. You know, and if America is doing well, we're going to do well too. It's as simple as that. You know, all of those bennies that come fall off that table, just got to be there to catch them. Anyway, with that, everybody, I say good night and thanks for hanging out with me for another Black Man Unfiltered exclusive from the Boomer Show. Later.